Thank you, Tom. I have to admit, between Coach Tierney and Tom, my first 2 years at Fairleigh Dickinson, I might never have gotten to the third. To say Coach Lowe was a little tough on point guards was an understatement. There were a time early in my career at Fairleigh, I wasn't sure what my real name was. And most of the names I was called I couldn't say in this company, but Mrs. Lowe promised me it was endearing. So I believe that. I'd like to also, I was listening to Pete talk. Pete, you're unbelievable. And then I heard you say that, well, when Georgetown visited Fairleigh, Dr. Langford, I can promise you one thing. Georgetown's not visiting Fairleigh anymore. I'd like to introduce my family. My mother, Marilyn, who drove from New York to Jersey almost every game to see me sometimes participate. Mom. Two of my three daughters, Paige and Jackie. Girls, don't be embarrassed. And my wife, Karen. And Mrs. Lowe can appreciate it. There's not one of the toughest jobs in all of America is a coach's wife. And Mrs. Lowe, you did an unbelievable job keeping balance and keeping us all together. And Karen does the same thing for our basketball team. So my wife, Karen. I'd like to congratulate all tonight's honorees. It's a tremendous accomplishment, but I'd also really like to emphasize that 70-71 basketball team and one of my roommates, Jay Jorgensen, on their honors today because they embodied what Coach Lowe was all about. They were unselfish. They were unbelievably tough. They were disciplined to the point where it was almost amazing. Jay Jorgensen was the most disciplined human being I've ever been around in my life. I mean, and the next time I get a speeding ticket on the Turnpike, can you help me a little bit, please? I mean, he would sit in that room and he memorized his school book. I mean, he's probably the reason I graduated. I said, if this guy could study that hard, he's a lot smarter than me. I better start studying a little bit. But he was amazing. And I think about that 70-71 team. You know, Tommy made a great point. Not only did they lead the country in defense, but they also committed the fewest fouls. And that is so difficult to accomplish, to actually check people and not commit fouls. And you know, that team possessed so many great traits, a collective responsibility and a sense of spirit. And it's great, you know, as I try to coach our players, I think the thing that I most appreciate, and I'm going to go back and speak to our guys next week, is these guys are still bonded. They're still together. They've got great trust. They've got great camaraderie. And that's what college sport is all about. Those are the lessons that we learn. And what a great reflection of what Coach Lowe is all about is that these guys to this day share that experience to the point where basically their whole basketball team is together. And I congratulate you guys again this evening. Fantastic. The reason I attended Fairleigh Dickinson was real simple. I received a terrific education. All right, but my main professor at Fairleigh Dickinson was Professor LaBabo. All right, that's why I attended Fairleigh Dickinson. All right, and I thought I was going to learn about ball man defense. I thought I was going to learn about zigzag and jump to the ball and close out, all quite honestly the same things I did today with our team in practice before I came here. All right, but I learned things that were so much more important. All right, I mean, I saw Coach Lowe in the most difficult of times when we lost Noki Johnson to a horrific accident on Route 80. And his leadership in that moment really kind of assisted me a couple of years ago when we had our tragedy on our campus. And his leadership and how he kept our team together and kept them moving in the right direction was so pivotal in all our lives. And, you know, Coach wasn't the easiest guy to play for. In fact, if you ever had to get called up into his office, now, you know, for some of the people that don't remember, in Rutherford, it was a stage. And you had to walk up the stairs of the stage, and then you had to walk in the back. And when you had to get called into the old man's office, you knew something was up. And one day I came into practice, and I think Pete said, you know, Coach wants to see you. And I was trying to think about all the things I did. You know, did I not close out? Did I, you know, throw the ball away last night? You know, what did I do? And I got up to the office, and after a couple of a very casual exchange, he said, You're little, and I'll let you fill in the blank. That was affectionate. He said, you might not understand right now, but what we're doing each and every day, when you have your own team, you're going to do the exact same things. And your players, they're not going to understand it until they graduate. He said, then they're going to come back and they're going to have a better understanding of why you did what you did. And as I look back on that, I coach in his image. People say my passion for the game. We lived that for 4 years, and anyone who played for Coach understands that. I coach in his principles, not just his principles defensively, but what he stood for. His energy, his compassion. I think about Coach. I think about when he was in Army. He would drive 2 hours to West Point after teaching a full day of school. I mean, that's mind-boggling. And then he would get back in that car and drive back to New Jersey. I've been blessed and fortunate to have a chance to be a head coach. And our league is probably the most pampered league in all of college basketball. If you would ask a Mike Krzyzewski or Roy Williams to teach a full day of class, drive 2 hours to practice, all right, they would look at you like you are certifiably insane. All right, and that's what he did every single day. Or he drove from New Jersey to New York to assist Coach Carnesecca at St. John's. The type of sacrifices he made for the betterment of the game and the people that played it were unparalleled. And that's what Coach was all about. I think about what I do each and every day, and quite honestly, Coach is with us each and every day. He's with all of us, not just me because I'm coaching basketball. Everyone that played for him is better off for the experience. We might not understood it then, but we sure understand it now. And it's not just me. We play Duke every year, and every single time we play Duke, the first thing Mike Krzyzewski, in fact, he sent me, and the guys back here will get a kick out of it, he sent me a program from the coaches clinic when Mike spoke and Coach Knight spoke. And, he said, congratulations on the award. The coach touched a lot of people. And I looked at that thing, and the guys back here will get a kick. Let's make sure you get an apple on your way out, all right? But those clinics were a who's who in college basketball, all right? And not one guy took a dime. And they came and they spoke and they worked for one reason and one reason only. That was because of Coach Lowe. Whether it was Lou Carnesecca, Bobby Knight, Mike Krzyzewski, Don DeVoe, Tate Slock, you name it. They all came because of him. So it's truly an honor to be here and be back. I appreciate the award. Mrs. Lowe, you're the best. And again, congratulations to all the honorees. Thank you very much.